Right, so before I move forward with your installation configuration, first we will look at the network device configuration. So before I send the traffic to the SMC or netflow collector, whatever it might be, I'm going to configure my routers, I'm going to configure my ASAs, I'm going to configure my switches over here. So let's look at my topology now. So let me find where that one is. Right, so this is my topology now.
So I have a quick question.
Yes, please.
If I have a 7 point, let's say I have 7.2
Yeah,
stage wash,
yeah.
I can upgrade to 7.4, right?
Now you can 7.4 is a little bit different. So until 7.3.2, you can follow the same procedure which I'm following it now
Okay.
for installation. All right. So now in my topology, you can see that there are different devices over here. Okay. So I have already pre-configured certain things, like I've already configured my eyes. I've already configured my Windows PC, the Windows
Oh,
Server.
that's Cisco Ice?
Yes, that's Cisco eyes.
Oh, so you have Cisco Ice too?
Yes, because we are going to look at the PX grid integration at the end of our class now.
That's
We
good.
need the Cisco eyes. Now you can see that I have pre-installed most of the things and pre-configured most of the things now to reduce our time for the class now.
Hmm. Hmm.
So in the WinDC, I've already installed my Active Directory. I have already installed my DNS server. I have already installed my email server. I have also installed the, I think, syslog also in this one. So basically, I was supposed to install the file transfer protocol FTP server on that one and SNMP server on this one, but I did not install these two of them.
That's good.
Now, on this particular PC, whenever I'm referring to Active Directory, whenever I'm referring to DNS server, when I am referring to, sorry, DNS server means internal DNS server when I'm referring, and also referring to syslog server, referring to TFTP server, or referring to FTP server, or referring to email server, or referring to SNMP server. All of them means that I have already installed in WinDC, that is my Windows server. Everything has been installed on that one. So whenever I
Hmm.
refer to this PC, so just understand that I'm referring to this particular PC. All right, so I do have a management PC which is separate, and CTA, that's it's nothing to do. There is no virtual. This is the cloud-based solution I have just included in my topology. And you can see that I do have a netflow collector and a stealth watch. So these are not done anything. I have done no configuration. Neither I have done any installation for that one. So I'm going through the installation policies in this one later on. So now, as I said that we are going to look into the network device configuration. So I have configured my edge router with the stealth watch configuration as well as the L2 switch for my stealth watch configuration. I will bring up that one first. So if I go to my edge router over here, to run section flow record. All right, so this is the configuration I have pre-configured on that one. So let's look into one by one now. So I said a command saying that I started a command saying that flow record. I have given a name as record with capital letters. And now I want to match a traffic. So there is a PC over here. Now PC is trying to communicate with my internet. So whenever this PC is sending a traffic, I want to match. I want to get the traffic details. What kind of traffic details I want to get? I want to match the IPv4 type of service. That means what type of service is an HTTP, HTTPS, port number 80, whatever it might be. It's a TCP connection or UDP connection. So I'm matching the IPv4 type of connection, type of protocol, source address, destination address, source port, destination port, then again match interface output, whatever might be the interface sending the traffic that match the output. Now collecting the routing data, if there is a networking device, now it is going to communicate with your ASA, for example. I do have an EIGRP running between them now. So they are going to communicate with each other. I want that information to be, you want to collect that information. So source address, source destination, source prefix, destination prefix. So these are all the things. Then again, the TTL value, again, if you want to go ahead and look for the TTL value, still you can get that. You are collecting these details now. You're saying to your router, I want to collect these details and I want to match this traffic and I want to collect these all details now. So whenever there is an IPv4 traffic coming in with any type of service, doesn't matter what type of protocol it is, what type of source and destination address it has, doesn't matter. I want to collect that data. These many datas I have to collect. So now on this one, I did miss the other one, that is the, let me,
So this you did this configuration on the edge router.
yeah, already that is been done on the edge router.
So when you collect this data, where
Yeah,
how do
I'm
you
coming to
send it
this
out?
one. I'm just showing the configuration now. Then the next step is that why I am collecting that data. What is the use of that data? We will come to that one by one.
Okay.
So I have now provided all the details over here that I want to match certain type of traffic and I want to collect the data from that traffic. And I have provided all the information in this one. So that was my first step to collect the data. I have provided the, so I created a record. So my router has a record which defines all the attributes for your data, traffic data. That's done. Next thing is that I want to export after collecting the data. What you want to do next thing? I want to export the data. To export the data, let me remove this one. I will show that. So run section flow export. And now you can see that I said that I want to, whenever you collected this all data, right? You have collected this all data. I want to export that data to this particular, this is my flow collector. So what I'm
Mm.
saying now, please, whatever the details you're collecting, please send it to my flow collector. My flow collector is located on gigabyte 1 interface and send it to 2055 port number. So hold on with that port number.
That's the port on
Yeah,
which
I would
flow
just hold on
collector
with it.
listen,
Yes, flow collector listening. Yes, absolutely right.
and the IP is the IP of the flow collector
Flow collector,
172.16.
yes.
Okay.
Now, what I did was first I created the record. No doubt you created a record with the matching traffic. And you said that this traffic should be sent to this particular exporter now. And the next very important thing is that where do you want to monitor this traffic? So I said that I want to monitor the traffic for this one. Whenever this traffic is being captured, it should be forwarded to my exporter and all the attributes have been defined into the monitoring. So all of the things I have defined in the monitoring saying that, hey, monitoring, you have to get the details for the record, forward that record to your exporter. You have these details. This is my exporter, this is my record, this is my exporter, and you are monitoring. So now the monitor, what it will do, okay, I have the record, I know where to send it, but from where I have to collect the data now? That's my problem. Where I have to collect the data now? So this is my router now. This is my PC. This is my ASA, and this is going to my ISP now. So whenever this PC is sending the traffic over here, and this interface is like, for example, gigabyte 2, now it is entering, that means it is ingressing the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Ingressing means entering. So
Mm-hmm.
you can also refer to this as an, as from the perspective of my edge router, you are seeing that it's entering into the router. That means it is getting input, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you will see that, okay, you will go to this particular gigabyte 2 and you will say to that interface, hey interface, if you are getting any traffic from a monitoring from this monitor like MON, this is your monitor, capture the traffic which is coming input or capture the traffic which is leaving the interface. So you have to be very careful in selecting egress, ingress and egress. So let's come back to our topology and understand what does I mean with this one now. Now, according to my topology now, you can see that I do have multiple PCs over here. Now the PCs are sending the traffic. So my PCs are sending the traffic on gig 0, gig 2. I am receiving the traffic. So that means the traffic is entering. That means it's an ingress traffic, right? So whenever I'm configuring the monitor on this interface, I will say that gigabyte 2, I want to do the monitoring with mon. This is the record. And I want to do the input. I want to capture the traffic which is ingressing the interface, which is coming inside that interface. All right. Now, another thing is that over here, you see that I do have all the servers here. So I am not interested that servers are going to or someone is communicating with the servers. From the perspective of the servers, servers are trying to communicate with the ISP to, to download some patches and update the system. So I'm not worried about that one. What I'm worried about is that who is accessing these servers. Okay, who is accessing these servers? For my PCs, I said that whenever the traffic is going in, I said to my router that you have to capture the traffic which is coming input, that is ingressing this interface. But what if my management is trying to access this one now? Do you have any interface which is like monitoring that one? No, right? So what you can do is that on gigabyte 3, you can say that monitor that one which is leaving the interface output. Why am I saying the leaving the interface? Because traffic is initiated either from this side, or either from this side, correct? Because these are my servers. Those are ready to accept the traffic. They are not initiating that one. So that's the reason I just want to monitor the interface. I want to monitor the traffic on this particular interface, which is leaving now. In this scenario, it is what? It's leaving this one. Because if I want to monitor here, I will say input because the traffic is being initiated on this way. If I want to monitor here, I will say input because traffic is being initiated here. But I want to monitor here so that I don't need to configure anything over here. To reduce the configuration, I just said to my gigabyte 3 interface, whatever the traffic is leaving this interface, I want to capture the traffic. You need to understand the requirement over here, where you have to put the input, where you have to put the output. But you do have an option that I can go ahead and say that output and input, both of them are valid still. Okay. If you want to say that particular interface capture the traffic which is entering and capture the traffic which is leaving, you can go ahead and also configure that one too. But if you really understand where you have to provide the input and output of your configuration will be very less, because you are only going to configure a particular segment of your interfaces, and you absolutely know that I want to configure a particular traffic which is leaving or which is entering. So you have to be careful. But whenever you have to be careful that whenever you are configuring the interface coming from the inside network, it should be always input. Capture the traffic which is coming input itself, because this will help you get the traffic, as much of traffic as you can. So as soon as it is entering, just capture the traffic, simple as that. So clear with that input and output?
Yes.
Now, coming to our layer 2 switch, I did only the monitoring on the layer 2 switch. You see that what I'm doing is that I'm just collecting the data. from which is coming from both interface 2/3 and 1/0, which are like devices are connected to that interface. And I'm just sending that, copying that data to E0/1, where E0/1, my flow sensor is connected over there. So if I go back to my topology now, you see that on this interface, my flow sensor is connected, and I'm going to monitor gig 0/2, 3, and 1/0. I am collecting the data from this particular interfaces, and I'm just dumping it to this particular interface. That's it. And for configuration for that one, I think show run. You see that monitor session 1 source interface will be 0 to 2 to 3 and 1/0. I'm capturing the traffic on this interface, and monitor session 1 destination interface will be E0/1. That is the span configuration. That's all you have to do in the layer 2. Just collect the data and forward it to your flow sensor. That's it. So good with that network device configuration. I have configured my router. I have configured my layer 2 switches now. Now the only thing on my edge router I did not configure is that how to capture the TRUSEC packets. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to integrate my ICE with the switch for SXP Cisco TRUSEC configuration. So what happens is, like, whenever the PC is been authenticated, it will assign a security group tag. So it will assign a security group tag. So when it assigns the security group tag, I want to capture that security group tag, so that when I integrate my ICE with my SNMP using the PX grid, I will have the information of the security group tag. And using this security group tag, I can create a policy. You can create a policy so that, for your example, for this lab, I want to configure a policy so that it can violate that policy, the PC can violate, and I can check in that SMC the policy violation using this security group tag. All right, so good so far.
So what?
All right, so I did not configure for my edge router to capture the security group tag. So let's go ahead and do that one. Flow record. I've already created the record, so I'm going back to that record, and I want to say that match flow CTS source group tag. Flow record failed to the field that object is in use, already is in use. Okay, so let me check, do show run section flow record. Okay, do you see any CTS source group and destination? Nah, there is nothing. Object is in use. So that's the only thing I did not configure. Yeah, I did not configure, right? You do not see anything that one.
There's nothing like group.
Yeah, but why it's saying that object is in use? It's not adding up. So that means it's not supporting, I think. Yep, it's not supporting. That's not a problem. So if it's not supporting, means it's not going to collect that one, and we are not able to get the details of that one. That's fine. But anyhow, these are the commands. If you want to get the security group tag, this is the one command you have to provide in order to capture the security group tag, and also the source and destination group tag. All right, so this was your network device configuration.